Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. Every so often, this cute little news show gets invited to rub elbows with the bigwigs. Such was the case last week when Air Force One landed at the Springfield-Branson National Airport. President Donald Trump came to Missouri for a campaign rally at the JQH Arena to show his support for Senate GOP candidate and State Attorney General Josh Hawley. The rally drew a record-breaking crowd of over 11,000 people. A West Plains woman has been sentenced to 13 years in prison on 9 felony charges. 37-year-old Carrie Elizabeth Carver was charged with 9 felonies, 8 of which were related to an incident where 4 kids were allegedly found living in unsanitary conditions, with 2 kids involved in the packaging and distribution of narcotics. Carver pled guilty to a 2016 charge of distribution of a controlled substance and entered Alford pleas on the other charges. The Walk to End Alzheimer's took place in Rolla on September 22nd. Despite rainy weather, crowds turned out to raise money for Alzheimer's research. Leanne Minting spoke with Greater Missouri Chapter Director Greg Shuto.
There are over 5.7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's today. The Walk to End Alzheimer's is our way of fighting back. And so in over 600 communities across the country, including Rolla, people come out to celebrate life. For each person that's living with Alzheimer's in the state of Missouri, it's 110,000 people. There's 2 to 3 full-time caregivers. So we raise our Promise Garden flowers to represent those that are living with the disease, those that care for those folks, those we've lost, and for those that don't have a direct connection but just want to see the end of Alzheimer's disease. There's a stigma to Alzheimer's disease, and our event is really designed to help break that down, to raise awareness, to help folks break out of their 4 walls of their house and see that there's a community of support. There's significant advances in research. We've learned more about the brain and the way Alzheimer's develops more in the last 10 years than we did in the previous 100. A lot of people don't know that Alzheimer's disease was discovered in 1906. We now have the ability to see the disease progress in the brain before someone passes away. We are learning that lifestyle interventions are significantly reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Diet and exercise are the best ways that we have right now to slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Healthy heart for a healthy brain has always been in our lexicon with the association, but now we have statistical data to back it up. If we can aggressively manage blood pressure, we've seen the rate at which Alzheimer's progresses reduced. So these are big developments, and the Alzheimer's Association has been at the forefront of that for the last 30 plus years. Nationally, 4 years ago when I started with the organization, National Institute of Health funding from the federal government was $630 million. And I'm proud to say with the help of folks in communities like Rolla, we have impacted that number, and right now it stands at $1.9 billion annually that's contributed to Alzheimer's disease research. The money that's raised here creates a tangible change in Alzheimer's disease. Last year, Rolla raised over $40,000 in our fight to end Alzheimer's disease, and we honestly can't do what we do without folks like you out in this community that come out on a rainy Saturday morning and support our cause.
I truly believe that together we can end Alzheimer's. Let's hear it one more time. Let's end this fight!
The city of West Plains has a new police chief. City Council voted in favor of Stephen Monticelli during a special closed session on September 20th. Monticelli is a 37-year veteran in law enforcement, spending 32 of those years in Columbia. His most recent position was as chief of police in Harrisonburg, Virginia. That's all for this week, a short show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. The Weekly Recap is brought to you by Rice Chopper, Cooking from Scratch, the UPS Store of Rolla, Bayard Dodge in West Plains, and the Ozarks Medical Center.
Consumers in Lebanon, Thayer, Rolla, and West Plains are reporting to us scammers are trying to fool them into cashing fake checks. The problem is once a consumer cashes the fake check and then sends the scammer a portion of the money, that consumer would be sending his or her own money. Recently, this was reported to us by a consumer. Here is what he says happened. I received an envelope from the United States Postal Service along with a check for about $3,000, asking me to go do a survey for the closest UPS office in order to purchase USPS blank money orders of $800 in 3 different places to insist on buying the money, which is going to be about $2,400. And after I do that, I'm supposed to go ahead and deduct $400 for commission and $100 to deduct for covering gas and transportation. And then I'm supposed to contact Carl to get an address where I'm supposed to go to the FedEx office and send back the 3 blank money orders back to him, along with a survey that's supposed to be completed about my experience at the UPS office. Thankfully, he did not fall for this scam. So one of the tips in this is to watch out for is going to be if somebody's contacting you and the scam is super complicated. There's a lot of different parts to it. Often be very suspicious of any overpayments. A check can bounce even after your bank allows for you to withdraw cash from that deposit. Never ever send any blank money orders. That's just a way for somebody to take your money. Of course, don't send money to anybody you don't know, especially if they're asking for money in an unusual form such as a wire transfer or a prepaid debit card. Do not share personally identifiable information such as your social security number, your date of birth, your bank or credit card accounts, your passwords. Please don't share that with anybody you don't know. Do not prepay taxes, insurance, and fees on something that you supposedly won. Now to report a scam, go to Better Business Bureau Scam Tracker. You can report it for free at bbb.org/scam tracker.
Sometimes hard times come about and many have nowhere to turn. That's when the Rolla mission becomes a stopgap measure to prevent tragedy. They're amazing at helping the disadvantaged in our community. That's why Fidelity 6 is proud to host the Fidelity 6 Trivia Night to benefit the Rolla mission. 7 o'clock Saturday, October 13th at Vineyard Church in Rolla. We'll have team trivia and silent auction. Reserve your table today. Sponsored by Price Chopper, Fairground Auto Plaza, your Community Health Center, and Color Plus Printing.